Morgan here at Wild Dogs, and today's video is going to be all about crate training. This is Pablo. He's going to be our demo dog for today. He has not been crate trained, so he's going to be my little assistant in teaching you guys how to crate train your dog at home. Stick around, find out everything that there is to know about crate training. Why should you crate train your dog? You should crate train your dog because, one, for dogs under a year old who are still in that potty training phase, it is the most efficient way to potty train your dog. Nobody likes to potty where they sleep. That's what teaches them bladder control. It also helps to develop a structured routine, a feeding routine, a water routine, a nap time routine, a playtime routine, a pooping routine. So it helps develop that structure that they need to learn your lifestyle. Another reason to crate train your dog is because it helps to prevent separation anxiety. When dogs are at home by themselves, if they're feeling a little bit anxious, they're probably going to be pacing around the house. And as they pace, they're going to get more anxious. And that's going to build and build and build. It allows them to go to the door and then go to the window and then go to the door and then go to the window. And that's what's going to fuel that anxiety. Versus when they're in their crate, they're forced to be calm and relaxed, so that way they can't get themselves too worked up. And ultimately, if we make it a positive place, they shouldn't be feeling really anxious inside of their crate. If you take these steps, of course. Dogs are naturally den animals. So they like to have a cool, quiet, dark little cave where they can cuddle up and be cozy. Think of your dog's crate like their own room in your house. They also want a place where they can go and be away from everyone and have some downtime. So your crate is just your dog's room. Something I should note, that crate training isn't meant to be forever. But when your dog's young, you can't necessarily trust them free in your house. And the crate is going to be the safest place for them to be while you're away, or even if you're sleeping at night. So it doesn't mean that for the rest of their life they have to sleep in their crate, but for the beginning of their life, we want to teach them structure and develop a routine, which crate training is really beneficial for that. Now let's touch on when. You should crate train your dog right away. I don't care if you're getting a puppy, I don't care if you're getting an older dog. The idea is that you never know at what point in your dog's life they might have to be in a crate, whether it be at a vet's office, whether it be at a groomer, whether it be at a trainer. They're probably gonna have to be in a crate at some point in their life. So better to train it early on because you never know when they're gonna need it later down the road. I personally like to crate my dog when there's fireworks and when there's thunderstorms because it makes her a little bit anxious. Other people might do it if they have a fearful dog that takes them a little bit to warm up to people. You can have them in their crate to just adjust to their surroundings. Maybe you're getting work done on your house and your dog can't be running in the backyard or running freely in your house, in which case the crate would be really useful for that. So you just never know when you're gonna need it, so it's ideal that you train it early on. How long should you crate your dog for? I pretty typically don't like to kennel my dogs for longer than 4 to 5 hours. Now, some people work all day. You might have an 8-hour span. I don't love the idea of a dog being in a crate for 8 hours, so I personally recommend doing your early morning exercise, get them really tired, eat breakfast, go to the bathroom. They're crated for 4 to 5 hours. I like having a midday break. If you aren't capable of giving your dog a midday break, I do recommend hiring somebody. There are dog walkers, there are babysitters, so you can actually hire somebody to come to your house and potty your dog and give them a little bit of break. And then you have the next 4 to 5 hours in the afternoon before you come home from work that they can be in the crate again. So I pretty typically like to keep it in that 4 to 5 hour range. Every dog's a little bit different. Some dogs could sleep for 8 hours straight and be totally fine. Other dogs have 2 hours and they start to get really anxious. So it kind of depends on your dog, but I'd say the 4 to 5 hours is a pretty good sweet spot. My number one tip, if you're gonna have to leave your dog in the crate for a long time, is to exercise the heck out of them. Take them for a very long walk, throw the ball for them, just physically tire them out, so that way they're just gonna be napping in there for the rest of the day. So lots of exercise if you're gonna be crating for a long time. Let's talk about types of crates. So there's 2 different types of crates that you can get for your dog. You can get them a wire crate, or you can get a plastic crate. The benefits of a plastic crate are it's a cool, quiet little den. I like that it keeps it a little dark. The dog can't see you in every single corner and watch every move that you make. And it's also a lot harder for a dog to break out of a plastic crate. Versus the wire crates, the benefit of those is that they're, I don't know, I honestly don't like wire crates at all, but I guess the benefit of them is that you can tear them down and move them around a lot easier, although they're just big and chunky. I hate wire crates, they're just the worst. But some people prefer wire over plastic. I recommend that if you're gonna get a wire crate, because I don't like dogs to be able to obsess over your every move and watch, I recommend covering them. So you can get a blanket, you can also, they make like crate covers. And so that's gonna help to still create the cool, quiet little space because some people don't have the room for a big plastic crate. So that might be the big benefit of the wire is that you can move it around. It doesn't always have to be out and open if you don't always need it. So kind of a personal preference, I guess. I always lean towards the plastic crates. I also find that the plastic crates keep the dog hair in it so that I can just vacuum on the inside of it versus the wire crates is just like, gets everywhere and there's dog hair all around it. It's just the worst. So personal preference, I'm gonna go with plastic crates. When should you crate your dog? I recommend for dogs under a year to be crated at nighttime and every time that you're away. Over a year, if they're potty trained, at nighttime you can leave them out and about. And then when you're away, I still recommend crating them. I have just heard too many horror stories of dogs getting into trouble, tearing up carpet, tearing up the blinds, tearing up themselves, right? Dogs will start to self-mutilate if they're really anxious and they're walking around a whole lot. I've heard of dogs getting pill bottles, eating whole loaves of bread. I have a biased opinion, right? I don't hear from all the good experiences that people have leaving their dogs out. I typically hear all the bad ones, so in my opinion, it's just not worth the risk. I would rather just have my dog in a safe place while you're away. As your dog gets older, you're probably gonna experiment with them a little bit. You're gonna test the waters and see how long you can leave them out for. In my opinion, I don't see a huge difference in your dog sleeping on your sofa or sleeping in the crate. If they're already a really cool, calm, collected dog that's just already laying around, why not just already have them in a safe place where they can't make any bad decisions? But everybody learns to trust their dog at a different stage. Some people can get away with not crate training at all. For me, I have the highest success rate when I crate train. Now is the fun part, Mr. Pablo. Sir, we're going to crate train Pablo. He is going to be my assistant this evening. So Pablo is not crate trained. Pablo's owner said when they got him as a puppy, they tried it for one night. He did a lot of screaming and wailing. It was difficult for them to get through. They got him during quarantine, so they said, we're home all day, every day. Anyways, we might as well just leave him out. But now we're in a place where Pablo likes to mark around the house. When they're away, Pablo goes and pees on the bed. Why do you pee on the bed? You can't be peeing on people's beds, man. So we're gonna crate train because you can't prevent your dog from marking in the house if you're not around. There's just no way to do it. When you're not there, your dog's gonna do what they wanna do. So instead, let's go ahead and set the dog up for success by putting them in a situation where they're not gonna be able to do that. So crate training for Pablo is gonna be a huge key. So let's dive into the steps of crate training your dog. I don't know why I did that. Let's crate train your dog. Things you're gonna need to crate train your dog. One is a leash. I like to keep the dog on a leash when I crate train them so they don't get distracted and just go off in la la land. This is gonna help keep them focused and in the game. You're gonna need some dog treats. I've just got a variety here. If your dog is super food motivated, I recommend using their breakfast or their dinner. Pablo here didn't care about having his kibble, so we're offering some, I don't know, regular dog training treats. If your dog is not food motivated, you're gonna wanna find a treat that gets them more excited because again, we want the crate to be positive. We want them to be really excited about going inside of it. So we're gonna do that by using Happy Snacks. Step number 1, make a trail of treats to get closer to the crate. So what we're gonna show him is just because you go near it, it doesn't mean you have to go inside of it. Treat trail. Good boy. And I'm gonna go slow in this process. I'm really not gonna pressure him to go right inside of it. Step number 2, once your dog is getting comfortable with the trail of treats going towards the kennel, now you're gonna start to put the treats inside the kennel. Good boy. Slowly, I'm starting to throw the treats a little bit further back into the crate, and you can see he's on his very tippy toes reaching, that he does not want to stick one paw in. But that's okay, we might not get there in this training session. It's really important to take your time and go at his pace. Good boy, good job. Good boy, bud. Good job. These sessions can be really short and sweet, 5 to 8 minutes, I would say. And it's just the game of going in and coming out, going in and coming out. You can use all of their breakfast or all of their dinner and have them earn breakfast or dinner this way by going in and out of the crate. I'm not putting pressure of shoving him in there. I'm not trying to shut the gate yet. I really want to get to a point where he will put all of his body inside of the crate first before starting to shut the door. So it's just going to be a slow process of getting him comfortable going in and out, not putting a lot of pressure. Now that your dog is consistently going in and out of the crate, we're going to try and work on the amount of time that they stay in it. It'll look just like this. P.S. I'm going to be calling it kennel. I'm pretty sure I've called it crate and kennel throughout this whole thing. When I talk to the dog, I call it kennel. You can say crate, you can say banana. I don't care what you say, just stay consistent with it. Kennel. Throw it towards the back. Then I'm gonna place another one right in the front. Free. And then use a free command to release her. Throw a treat in the back. Clearly she's already crate trained. Kennel. Put another treat in the front. And then release. Free. Here you go, Sushi. Now let's start to close the door. Shut the door. Grab your treats. Shove them through. So this way, they're getting treats even with the door closed. When you start to close the door on your dog, don't keep it closed for the next 2 hours. Do really short, sweet increments. Make sure you do not open the door if they are whining or barking. If you do that, that rewards them for whining or barking. If they learn to do those behaviors, and that's what opens the door, those are gonna be the behaviors that they display. So instead, only let your dog out when they're calm and relaxed, just like this, and release them. Free. Here are some extra tips when you crate train your dog. Feed them every meal inside the kennel. Yes, every meal. Breakfast, if you do lunch, and dinner. You don't even need a bowl. You can scoop the food and put it directly in the crate. That's just gonna make the whole kennel a giant food bowl and make them love it even more. It's also really helpful when you feed your dog in a crate if you have a multiple dog household, because then it's going to prevent resource guarding and any issues around food. So feed them every meal inside the crate. Every time you put them in the crate, give them a treat, and you can also give them a bone. Maybe even a Kong with peanut butter in it, an antler chew, a bully bone, anything you can think of that your dog loves. Give them something to entertain themselves, especially if they're gonna be in the crate for long periods. Before you leave, whether you have a plastic crate or if you have a wire crate, I recommend covering it either with a blankie or they make crate covers. This is gonna be beneficial so your dog can't watch you leave, and it's also gonna help to simulate nighttime for them. So hopefully they should stay calm and go to sleep. And my last tip for you is to play some kind of white noise in the background. That might be a loud fan, that might be a noisemaker, it might even be your Google playing Beyonce. Whatever kind of noise you can do so that way your dog isn't listening to their surroundings, it should hopefully drown out all that noise in order for them to relax. That's all I have to say on crate training. If you guys liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have questions or if you want more videos on different subjects, dog related of course, please comment down below and let me know what you think. If you guys want to, you can reach out to me on Instagram as well as @trainingwilddogs, and you can DM me and ask any questions that you might have. Thanks for watching. Stay wild, dogs. I don't know how to wink.